All right, hi guys. All right, this will be our last lesson that we do for dividing polynomials. We're going to do something in this video called synthetic division. Let's see, let me make sure that's coming out all right. Synthetic division. This is the quote-unquote quick way of going about solving these problems. Yes, sorry, I put you guys through all that. There is an easy way to do it. I'm not a big fan of covering this concept. Not that it's not a useful tool, but it's kind of a trick. And the explanation behind why it works is something I don't really want to get into with a high school level class. It's doable to explain it at the high school level. It's just not something I really like to get into. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. I'll show you how to set it up. I'm not going to explain to you why it works, though. Okay, so I'll just need you guys to, this is where I wave my hands in the air and you guys are just going to have to accept that you're not really going to understand why this works, but you will know how to use it so that you guys can do long division of polynomials much, much faster. So the example that we're going to do here, we're going to do 3x squared plus 7x plus 2. We're going to divide that by x plus 2. Alright, so here's the way that I go about setting these problems up. You guys are just going to do this as an algorithm. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the denominator. Well, actually, here's what we're going to do first. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set up kind of half a box. So you're just going to set up this little right angle. In this spot here on the outside, it's just like the division bracket when we were doing long division. The number that's going to go out here, though, is not what you guys think it is. What we're going to do is we're going to take our divisor, in this case, x plus 2. We're going to take our divisor and we're going to set it equal to 0, and whatever number makes this equal to 0 is the number we're going to put here. So in this case, it's just going to be x is equal to negative 2. So we're going to put negative 2 as a number here on the outside. Okay. Now the inside is going to be the coefficients of our polynomial. Now there's something you want to make sure here. I didn't cover this in the last video. I did talk about this a little bit in class, though. You have to make sure that you have all of your 0 terms. So if I had something like, let's say I had like 3x cubed plus x plus 1, sort of thing like that. I need to add 0 terms. Let's focus that a little bit. I need to add 0 terms to make a complete polynomial. So this would be 3x cubed plus 0x squared. Then we'll have plus x plus 1. So this is 0 term. You need to make sure that you have all 0 terms accounted for when you're doing synthetic division. Make sure that you still plug in those values. So we have our so we're not using this one here. This is just an example. Ignore this part. So we're going to go back to this polynomial. We have x squared to x to 2. So we have we have the square term, the single term, and then the 0 term is the same as the constant. So we have all of our terms counted for. We're just going to take our coefficients and we're going to write them in order underneath this bar. So we'll have 3, 7, and 2. Okay. All right, we're going to draw a line here. This first number, there's nothing is going to go in this first spot right here. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this value, whatever it happens to be, is going to automatically come underneath the line. Okay, so I'm going to bring down that 3. Now what we do is we take this number we have on the outside of the bracket, we're going to multiply it by this number on the bottom, and we're going to write it here. So I'll write a negative 6 right here. We always add together, so we will add 7 and negative 6 together. That gives us 1. Okay. Now we repeat the process. So negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. 2 plus negative 2 is 0. Okay. Here's the parts that you guys need to know here. This number, whatever this last number is right here, this number is always going to be your remainder. Okay. I'm not going to do a remainder example. If you guys have got a specific problem on the homework that you would like me to take a look at or help you out with, there's also going to be a little worksheet I'll give you guys in class so you guys can practice this a little bit. If there's remainders on there, it'll be whatever this value is here at the end. Okay. These other two values, though, are going to be the coefficient of the quotient after we perform the division. So, but we started with an x squared term, so we start with 1 less. So this will start off as 3x, and then this one here, there's nothing less than just an x. Oh, sorry, there's nothing less than an x. So this 1 will just be a plus 1 in the end. So what this statement says at this point is that if we take our original divisor, so this was originally, we got -2 from taking x plus 2 and setting it equal to 0, solving for the value that made it equal to 0. What this is, if we take x plus 2 and we multiply it by 3x plus 1, we will get 3x squared plus 7x plus 2. And you guys can do FOIL and you can confirm that that works. Okay, so I want to give you guys, let's do another example here, but I want to give you guys kind of a step-by-step approach on how to go about doing synthetic division. So your steps. Okay, step number 1 is you're going to take the divisor, or figure out what makes the divisor equal 0. What makes the divisor equal 0. That'll be your first step when you were doing this. Okay, so figure out what makes the divisor equal 0. Step number 2. Okay, so you're going to set up your division bar. So you're going to take the value from step 1, and you're going to put that on the outside of the division bracket. So that's going to go right here. Okay, and then you're going to take the coefficients of the complete polynomial and those values go here underneath the bracket. And then your third step is you're going to drop the first number. And then step 4 is going to be the value from number 1. So value from step 1 multiplied by the value from step 3. This is so easier with a drawing to go with it. Value from 1 times 3 goes under next value. Okay, always add together. So if it's negative, it'll be subtraction, but you're never subtracting values. So if you have like 1 minus 3, you still add that together to get -2. So you're always going to add. Okay, and then we're going to repeat steps 3 and 4 over and over until you get through all the values. So repeat steps 3 and 4. Okay, so there's your algorithm here. I'll kind of scoot this down so you guys can see it. So your steps: figure out what makes the division equal, or the divisor equal to 0. That value is going to go here on the outside. Then you're going to take the coefficients of the complete polynomial. You'll list those out here under the bracket. Drop the first value down. Multiply the number outside the bracket by the number you dropped. Bring that number up under the next value. Add them together. And then we repeat that process over and over until we run out of values. Okay, I want to do another example with you guys here. Let me grab another sheet of paper. Okay, let's do one more example here and then we'll wrap up this video. So another example, you guys can try this one. This one will be a little bit bigger than the last one we did. We're going to take, it's our version here we have. We're going to take x cubed plus 7x squared plus 11x minus 3, and we're going to divide that by x plus 3. Focus. There we go. So x cubed plus 7x squared plus 11x minus 3 divided by x plus 3. Okay, so we're going to take those values. Let's go ahead and set up our bracket here. All right. The value that makes x plus 3 equal to 0 is -3, so I'm going to place a -3 outside the bracket. Okay. Our coefficients, let's make sure that we have a complete polynomial. There's no 0 term, so we go from a 3 to a 2 to a 1 to the 0 to the constant. So we have all of our terms. The coefficient of the first term here is a 1, so that's going to go here. The coefficient of our next term is a 7, and then an 11, and then a -3. Okay. We'll run through our process now. So we'll draw a line. We automatically drop down the first value to get a 1. So -3 times 1 is -3. Add these together. 7 plus negative 3 is 4. Repeat the process now. Negative 3 plus 4 is negative 12. 11 minus 12 is negative 1. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. Write that under the next one. So negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So our remainder is 0. That's good. That means we don't have to do anything fancy there. Okay, and then our remaining values here, we started with a cubic, so we're going to start, we started with a 3 here, so we're going to go to a 2 for our first term. So we will have an x squared, coefficient is 1, plus a 4x, and a negative 1 for our last term. That multiplied by our divisor, x plus 3. If you FOIL this out, if you guys do a lattice, you will end up with the numerator of our fraction when you multiply them out. That is synthetic division. The way you guys will have a worksheet in class. I'll have you guys practice doing long division and stuff. This comes back up again when we start doing our factoring section, which will be the next section that we work on. And you'll see it again when we play around with quadratics in kind of the next big unit that we do in this section. But that is synthetic division. If you guys have questions, let me know. We can take problems from the homework assignment or problems from the worksheet I'm going to give you guys in class, and we'll see how you guys are doing with this. All right. Thank you.